Welcome to Bible in the Backyard. Here we are today in Sefer Dvarim, Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, Perek Daled. And in this chapter, which is sort of the end of Moshe's first speech, we have a major emphasis on law and obedience to law. And we have, laws being referred to in all different kinds of ways: chukim, mishpatim, edom, mitzvah, different names for the laws. I'm going to speak a little bit about that obedience to law as a prerequisite for entry into the Promised Land.
There are a lot of terms. That's a great point. And of course, one strand in Jewish thought has sought to distinguish these, right? Different categories of law. Laws that are rational, irrational, make sense, we know the reasons. Laws based on different types of Grundnormen, like the basic justifications for laws. But actually, I think the most interesting thing about laws in this chapter is that besides being normative, besides actually being law, Moses also says that they will be evidence of the wisdom of the people of Israel. That the rest of the world will look at these laws and say, what kind of amazing people is this? They have such wise laws. And that will be evidence of not exactly chosenness in those words, but of some sort of unique status. Like other nations do different things. The Greeks are great for philosophy. You think about different nations, what Egypt is distinguished for, what Babylon is distinguished for. And the Jews will be known as the nation that has wise laws.
And how does this then play out in the subsequent development of the Jewish people, or kind of in a nutshell?
It's been tough, actually. I mean, on the one hand, it means that laws ought to make sense, right? So it sort of pushes against irrational laws. Like the less a law makes sense, the less it's going to fulfill that function. But obviously, that's not always easy to reconcile with the realities of laws. And that goes back to the first thing I said about some people, some very prominent people, Jewish thinkers, have talked about chukim as specifically laws that are not evidently rational, or maybe actually irrational. So there's a tension there. It's not a reconcilable one, but those are both fronted as points of law here.
And as the psyche, as the people develop, then law has to take its place as front and center before they move in. So that's the sort of significant placement here in the beginning of the book.
Yeah, society needs laws to function.
Great, thank you.